Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Financial Fix with Charnella. Today, I want to talk about fees. I know I've talked about fees before, but there's so many different fees out there that I want you all to be watchful of. These fees usually find the people who earn the least. And an example of some of those fees, let's start with banks. So, banks are in business to make money. So, for those of us who have large deposits in the bank uses our money to make money. But for those who have usually less than $1,500 in the bank, there are some banks out there that will charge you a fee of anywhere between $10 to $12 a month if you have a balance that's less than $1,500 or if you don't have direct deposits coming into the bank. And sometimes one or the other or both. So be very careful with that. So the next thing I want to talk about is overdraft fees. And while overdraft fees can touch any of us, people with large deposits in the bank and people with less money in the bank. But most oftentimes, statistically, those with the least amount of money are the ones paying the overdraft fees because oftentimes they're sort of juggling money around just to make ends meet. And sometimes they get caught. The bills are due before their next check comes in, so they may have an overdraft fee. So not only did you have enough money, you didn't have enough money to cover the bill that you needed to pay, but now you've got this additional overdraft fee, which is going to put you more in the hole even when you get your next check. So be very careful about the overdraft fees. Now, some people, they decide, to avoid the overdraft fees and the ATM fees. The ATM fee is another fee. Though most of the time when you go to your bank, you don't have to pay an ATM fee. But if you go to another bank, you're not only paying that bank's ATM fee, but then your bank also sometimes will charge you an ATM fee. So now you're paying two ATM fees, your bank and the other bank. Doesn't quite seem fair, does it? So some people, rather than have a bank account because maybe there were too many overdrafts on their account, so now they have this negative balance that they owe the bank, they'll just close all accounts and then they'll just start cashing their checks at a check cashing place. Well, guess what? There's fees for that as well. Check cashing places charges fees. There are some services that will allow you to get prepaid debit cards and things of that nature. Well, oftentimes, if you read the fine print, they charge fees as well. So the thing is, you want to put yourself in a financial position where the bank is paying you money. The next thing we're going to talk about are payday loans. So now you're behind with your bills and you're getting paid in about a week and a half, but you can't wait that long because you have bills that are due now. You have money that you need now. So not only are you going to a check cashing place and paying money to cash your own check, but now you need a payday loan or you need a payday advance. They're pretty much all the same. And you're paying astronomical fees, sometimes 20% or more at these payday loan processing centers. And they're very predatory and they prey on the people who earn the least. So there's other fees that other companies charge also for people who earn little money, who can't afford to just, for instance, pay their car insurance a year in advance. So I personally pay my car insurance a year in advance because if I don't, guess what? There's an additional fee over the course of that year. If I take my time and I pay every other month, or if I pay quarterly every 4 months, talking about my car insurance, they will charge me, my insurance company will charge me an additional $400 a year to have the privilege of making my car insurance payments over a longer period of time. Now, I would say about 10-15 years ago, it was the norm to pay your car insurance every month and there weren't any additional fees. I would say I've only noticed this in the past 5 years that now, if you don't pay your car insurance in advance, or if you don't pay it, what they call it, semi-annually, where you make a payment um, uh, up front for first 6 months, and then you make the second payment halfway through the policy for the remaining 6 months. That's another option as well at no additional charge, but it just doesn't seem fair. It just really does not seem fair. The next set of businesses that prey on people with the least are credit card companies. Their fees are astronomical. You miss a payment, it's like a $30 or $35 fee. Overdraft fees at the bank are about the same. $30 to $35 is the fee for overdraft fees with the bank. And it's about $30 to $35 if you miss a credit card payment or it's late. So with the credit card company, in addition to those late fees, they charge you an interest of anywhere between, I don't know, 18 to 25%, which is just highway robbery. But they're allowed to get away with it. And, for those of you who don't pay your balances off, every month, you're stuck paying those fees. Another fee that people often find themselves paying when they're down on their luck is reconnection fees for utilities. Maybe they couldn't afford to pay their utility bill, so the utilities were cut off. So now we're talking, you got to make up that late payment or payment penalty, whatever it is, for the late payment or non-payment on time. They're all the same. So not only do you have to pay that payment, but you also have to pay a reconnection fee. And then for all of you renters out there, you're paying a massive fee every month. You are paying your landlord's rent, taxes, insurance, and whatever repairs need to be done on the property. You're covering all of those expenses with your rent. Some people say, oh, it's cheaper to rent than it is to purchase. Not always. Add up the costs. Because when you own your own home, you're building equity. And over time, your home, when you turn around and sell it, you'll make a profit on it. And here in Michigan, you can, as a single person, you can profit up to $250,000 on your home as a capital gains without paying any taxes on it. Yes, you heard me right. And if you're a couple, you can earn up to $500,000 from the sale of your home as a capital gain without paying taxes on it, only if you've lived in the house for at least 2 years. Now, for most of you renting, you're going to rent for more than 2 years. Look at all that equity that you could have been building in your own home that you've put into your landlord's home. You're paying off your landlord's property. You are paying off your landlord's property and building equity for him or her. That's how that works. Another way that people with limited finances are often taken advantage of is going back to the car insurance. Not only are you being charged more for not paying your car insurance semi-annually or on the annual basis, meaning one payment or two payments per year, you're also, if you're living in a neighborhood that is considered less desirable or where there's higher crime and more poverty, you're going to pay more in car insurance. So in other words, the less money you have, this society is going to take more money from you. So we need to get you on the right side of the fence. Or should I say, we need to get you on the other side of things so that you aren't one of the people who are considered the have-nots. I want you to be one of the haves so that you can stop paying all these fees, thereby making it more difficult for you to get to the other side where the haves are. So another thing for those of you who right now in this particular situation, your finances are limited, oftentimes you're stuck paying higher grocery prices, whereas People who have a Costco membership or Sam's Club membership or any type of warehouse membership where you're able to buy things in bulk, typically you're able to save a few dollars here and there. Because I myself have a Costco membership, and when I compare prices, it's definitely much cheaper when it comes to toiletries, laundry, various other items, including food items that I purchase. They are far less expensive than they would be at a corner store or at a gas station. And oftentimes, a lot of people who have limited resources and maybe they don't have adequate transportation, they end up shopping at neighborhood stores like the corner store. And I think I went into a gas station the other day, and a Snickers bar was actually $2. No, yeah, I think it was like $2.50. And I thought to myself, are you crazy? This is ridiculous. I walked out of the store without purchasing a Snickers bar, and I went to my local grocery store and I bought it in bulk, a 6 pack, and I paid $1.25 per bar for Snicker bar. Okay. I just, when the more money you have, the more options you have. And the more money you have, the more money you'll save. The less you'll pay in fees because you have the money up front to take care of things as they need to be taken care of. So my whole point in this conversation today is to help you as a financial coach move over to the other side. Let's not stay on the side of the have-nots. Let's move over to the side of the haves. Let's not be envious or angry with the people who have attained what you want. If they don't be upset with people who have attained wealth, because if you get upset with those people, you'll likely never try to gain wealth yourself. So I'm a financial coach, and I coach people how to acquire and maintain wealth. So if you're tired of being on the other side where you're paying all these fees, it feels like, oh my gosh, I can never get caught up. The moment I get my check, I'm broke. I don't know what to do. I'm in credit card debt. I'm in massive debt. I need a plan to get out. That's what I do as a financial coach. So I want you to reach out to me. Send me an email, Sharnella@sharnellaclark.com, and let's have a free consultation. Let me first talk to you to find out if in fact I'm the right person to help you out of the situation. And for more financial tips, free by the way, financial tips, continue watching my channel and subscribe. Thank you again for watching Financial Fix with Sharnella.